Hey there, friends. This is Dr. Bill. Welcome to another edition of Short Constructed Responses. The one we're going to look at today is eighth grade short constructed, and you can see here in the prompt section that it was question number 35 on their revising portion of the test. 43% of the kids in Texas got it correct, and it said as follows: sentence 18 needs to be revised. In the space provided, rewrite sentence 18 in a clear and effective way. So, real quick, revising is basically what you see here. Revising is, let me get my bouncy ball, around the words in 8 cool ways. What does that mean? That you're going to either add something, put something in, remove something. Notice green is add, remove is red, replace something. So when you remove something, sometimes you leave it out, and other times you replace that something with something else. Or move. You either move it forwards or backwards in the sentence. And it's something because in Texas, they don't use the word substitute. Some of your practice tests might, but in all my 33 years in teaching and consulting, it's never been there. So this is my online text box version of what I've done with many of you in paper. So for all of you who signed up for the all year long recorded writing and reading training, this will be sent to you. Hopefully you'll really like this because you can save it and basically have your students plug in whenever there's a repetition problem. There's 3 kinds: repetition, removing it, red there; the best revision, changing the order by moving things around, just changing the content using this little around the words in 8 cool ways thing; or combining. So again, combining, instead of moving them around, you move them together into one complete thought. So remember that in revising, cups is conventions and revising is arm. When you make a mistake in grammar in a short constructed response, you won't lose the point if it's a capitalization mistake. And you can see here, capital underline shift size shape. So that'll keep your kids remembering it, that even though they might forget that, or they might forget the period, exclamation, or question mark at the end, or commas in the middle, as long as the student keeps the content the same, then they're good. So let's look and see what it said. Each day, right there, when some new visitor who would perch on a branch, comma, would perch on a branch, comma. Would perch is what they would do. On a branch is where, comma, and the new visitor who would then fly away. So repeating is sort of like trying to use the same brick in 2 different places on a wall. If you have it on level 5 up here and you take that brick out to put it in a different position on the wall, what's going to be left behind is a hole or a gap. And every time that there's repetition, that hurts the quality. So if you have, for example, 10 sentences, my 10 fingers here, and 5 of them say the same words and phrases, then you really only have 5 good sentences. Okay. So that repetition, what they should have done was remember to remove it. And you can't Leave it there. Let's see how the sentence sounds now. Capital. Each day, comma, some new visitor would perch on a branch, would then fly away. So what do I need? I need the word and. And so the very first response that got a point did exactly that. So I want to show you using Mrs. PVC, what are some things that you need to remember? Mrs. PVC, MRS PVC. These are some things that cannot happen on multiple choice and in the short constructed response format. If something is missing M or it changes the meaning M, you would have to eliminate. So I made her hair into lots of letter E's. If there is repetition, like we just saw, or a run on, you would eliminate. So you can't change a sentence into a run on, uh, especially if it says what is the best way to combine sentences blank and blank. You don't combine by making a run on, so you that would not be the choice. So if it was multiple choice, you would select one and you would eliminate three of the others. If the subject was changed, the who, the what, the when, the whoever, the person, the place, the thing, or the idea, the people, places, things, ideas. If that changes, then you lose the point for short constructive. If it's not specific to the content, no point. If you decide to use a synonym, something that means the same thing or something similar, in the short constructed response, they will allow that sentence to count for a point. So her ears are questioning, is it multiple choice or is it short constructed? And so on multiple choice, they won't use a synonym. They'll keep the same content exactly. Moving on to the PVC of Mrs. PVC. Predicate, the action, the verb. If that changes, then you've changed the meaning and the content. The point of view, if it's in first, second, third person, don't change it. The prompt, did you follow the task? And what was hard for the students was it did not say that there was repetition. Your students had to be able to see it if they would read silently and hear it if they read softly on that test. And apparently, since more than half of the kids in Texas got it wrong, something's not happening correctly. Is the word or the replacement too vague? Then you don't select it. You eliminate it or you improve it if it's short constructed response. If you change the content, you're not going to get the point, or you should not select that answer. And on multiple choice, there won't be cups mistakes. On short constructed response, there will be, because these short constructed responses are written by the student. So they may have capitalization errors, punctuation errors, and some spelling errors. But as long, I'm going to come up to her eyes, as long as it's not I indecipherable, I illegible, or I incoherent, then they usually will get the point. The main thing is the subject and the predicate, the usage. This subject verb agreement has to be there. Uh, so basically, keep the content intact, and I think that things will be great. So this one, your students can try some other ideas. Um, I will try one maybe with you before I go. Some new visitor, I'm going to change the order. Some new, just so you can see how I use it on this text box. Visitor. So I don't need that anymore. Visitor would perch where? On on a branch. And you can see gave the ones that got a point and one every day. Some new visitor would perch on a branch every day. And and I want you to notice because wood is already up here, it's not necessary to repeat wood twice. So this is a new way. Capital, shift, size, shape. And so a lot of you in secondary, because this is a secondary revising question, you don't have a lot of time to do what I call isolated grammar skills or certain isolated things. You have a lot of big content, a lot of things in our current programs are holistic, meaning you kind of talk about the big idea and you have to figure out how to fill in all the little gaps. And unfortunately, that's not happening. As you can see, was a simple skill of getting rid of repetition, and more than half of the kids couldn't do it. So multitasking means let's address capitalization and punctuation while we're doing revising. So you either can say capital, shift, size, shape, because that's what you do on the keyboard. You could underline, because that's an editing skill, put on a cap. Some new visitor would perch on a branch every day and then fly away, period or exclamation or question mark. Tell your kids that a sentence is like a street with some words and some phrases. And then at the end of that street is a stop sign. So thank you so much. I hope that this was helpful to you and that you were blessed. Uh, if you are in the reading and writing recorded trainings for this year that last all the way up until the test, let me know if you don't receive this in your email by tomorrow. Thanks, guys. God bless. I'll do the ninth and the 10th grade tomorrow for you guys. Thanks so much.